Welcome to A Spot of Story with Danielle Grandinetti. Cozy up with your favorite beverage as we chat about sweet romance, thrilling suspense, and fascinating history. Perhaps you'll find your next read in one of these stories. On this episode of A Spot of Story, I'm chatting with Lori Soard about Meringue Melody, the first book in the brand new Apron Strings Tea Tales series. What's fun about this one is that I'm also a fellow author in this multi-author series, so I am excited to talk with Lori today. Lori, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So Lori Soard is a lifelong Hoosier and lives in southern Indiana with her high school sweetheart turned husband. They have 2 grown daughters and 2 granddaughters. She always has her critters surrounding her, including a couple of miniature dachshunds and several rescue cats. During the extreme low points in life, it has been my animals that have seen me through. There is nothing like the deep devotion of a dog or the unconditional love of a cat. Lori adores animals, and while some of her dear friends have crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, she will always stand by her belief that animals make the world a better place. I love that, Lori.
Oh, I love my critters. They just make life better.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Lori, we're going to be talking about Meringue Melody today. But before we get started, the podcast is all about bringing readers together. So I'd love to know what you're currently reading.
So it might kind of surprise you, but because I mostly write romance, but I only read a little bit of romance. I try to like support my fellow authors in the
Sure.
multiple author series and stuff. But I'm actually reading a nonfiction book. And I have to look at the title because I keep forgetting what it is, but it's basically about finding your purpose in life and, like finding that niche for yourself. Like, why are we here? What is but it's called 9 Steps to Build a Life of Meaning.
Ooh, I like
And
that.
yeah, and it's by, I think, Rick Warren, but
Okay.
I'm about halfway into it. And it just really digs into everything from, the little things you do in life. Are you really using your time effectively? If you're sitting scrolling
Yes.
social media all the time,
Yes.
which is
Right.
guilty. I mean, I think we're all
Oh,
guilty
yeah.
of that sometimes. Are you really using your time to where our time here is a wisp? I'm enjoying it, but yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. I thought that
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
probably wasn't what you were expecting, but
But that's why I like asking the question, because you never know. And it helps us get to know you better. All right. So turning to Meringue Melody, tell me a little bit about the story.
Okay, so I love this story. It's inspired by The Little Mermaid. It's not The Little Mermaid. There's not a mermaid in it, but it follows the wanting to be part of a different world, longing for something different than what you have. It's set in 1928 in Maine, and it's set in Portland, Maine. And I've just had so much fun researching Portland, Maine and all about it. So, but the story follows Melody, and she goes from her little town in Indiana with a pastor father who's very strict on her. And she goes and stays with her aunt who owns a tea room, which that's the thread that ties all the stories together, tea rooms. She owns a tea room in Portland.
Oh, that's going to be so fun. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Yeah, and I
Really
think
great.
people see elements of the Little Mermaid story. Some of it comes inspired by the, original fairy tale, which did not have a happy ending. Mine has a happy ending.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So what was your favorite scene to write in the story so far, and why?
Oh gosh, I think the one where she first sees the hero.
Oh,
He's a boat builder, and
okay.
she sees him on a boat, and he has his dog. He loves animals, and
Yes.
she just sees how he's interacting with other people, and it lights that spark. It's that they haven't even met yet, but it just lights that spark in her that she's interested in what kind of person he is, and she sees something special about him.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So you mentioned research into Portland. What was a bit of the unique research that was required to write the story?
So I think what was so difficult, there's tons of research out there about what
Yeah.
Portland's like right now. It's a pretty big
Right.
city. Tons of stuff. But what was it like in 1920?
Mhm.
That's really different than what it is like in 2020, in almost 100 years. I found a book. I was so excited. It has all these old pictures of
Ooh.
Portland through the years. A lot of them are 50s, 60s, but there were some gems in there that were in the 20s. And even in the 30s, I think it would have
Yeah.
looked. And so I was able to just pull out details about what buildings look like. And this book doesn't release until October 14th. So what I'm doing right now is going back and adding some of these little details that I left it a little general because I wasn't 100% sure and I didn't want anything incorrect. And so that has been so much fun. And then the other part was, what was shipbuilding like in 1928? Because that's the
Yes.
hero's profession. And so it was different. It was a time when the world was really starting to change. They were building more still ships and
Yeah.
things. So I had to figure out how to factor that in. And was it a smaller boat builder? Was it a larger one? And a lot of those companies changed around the time my story's set. So I worked that in a little bit, how things are changing and where's the future going to go with the family company. And
I
but
like it.
I just found it fascinating. I get way
Yeah.
over involved in research.
That's why that's also one of my favorite questions to ask, is the research that goes into these
Oh, and
stories
I'm
is
sure that you know what I
so
do right in the 1930s. So you
yes.
probably do the same thing and just start
Yep.
digging into those tiny little details.
They're fascinating. Which brings me to the next question. What is a piece of research that didn't get included that you wish you could have?
Oh, that is a tough one. I've done a lot of research about the Maine coast, and I've
Mhm.
been to Maine before. I've not been to Portland. So I did a lot of research on like what it looks like, and
Mhm.
I didn't include a lot of that. I just kind of gave a general description to kind of set the tone, but I could have went on and on and on about how gorgeous
Yes.
the Maine coast is, and it's just so different than even other areas on the East Coast.
Maine is one of the states I have not been to yet. I've been to more than half,
Oh,
but I have not made it to Maine yet, and it is high on my bucket list. It's
it's
just
been many years since I was there. I was a kid, and my dad
yeah,
used to take us on like 3-week road trips every summer all over the
fun.
United States. So, but I have been there. It's just been a while.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So, what was the inspiration behind this story?
Being part of the series, we each
Hmm.
picked a fairy tale. I got invited into the series kind of late. There weren't a lot of fairy tales left. And so I had choices between like Little Mermaid. I don't remember what the other ones were.
Hmm.
And I've always loved the Little Mermaid story. So I was like,
Yeah.
sure, I can do that. So that was the initial inspiration. And then I just kept thinking, okay, what is the main thing about Ariel other than being a mermaid? What's the main character trait of her? And it is that she wants something other than what she has. She longs for a change, something more than what she has. And so, that kind of led to, okay, what kind of character in the 1920s would long for something more? And I don't know, it just kept morphing from there.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Those little seeds of an idea that just build into a whole
Mhm.
new story. What encouragement do you hope your readers will take away from this story?
So I'm a Christian woman, and
Mhm.
before I ever start any book, I always say a prayer and I say, God, help me reach that one person that you
Mhm.
want to reach. Help me give them a message, a line in the book that encourages them, that maybe makes them see God different if they're not a Christian, or if they're a Christian and they're discouraged, that it encourages them, that just lets
Mhm.
them take a breath through something they're
Mhm.
going through. So that's what I hope. Even just one reader walks away feeling encouraged after reading it, then I'll feel like my job was done.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's that note of hope and being heard in your story.
Right. I think the world needs that right now.
Very
We're
much.
in kind of dark times, and you
Yes.
know, people need that encouragement and that knowing that God has a plan, and even when things are hard, that He has the final say. in how things turn out.
I feel like the 20s and 30s are a perfect backdrop to show
Yes.
that because of how difficult and hard things were
And
then.
getting ready to be heading
Right.
into the Great Depression, and just society was changing a lot back then. So it is a really good time period to hone in on, God's love for us. And I hope that's the message that people get from the book.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. All right. Well, thank you, Lori, for joining me today. If readers want to find this book or find you online, where is the best place for them to go?
Well, thanks so much for having me. I
Yeah.
enjoyed this. My books are on Amazon. They can find me on there. And it's the last name spelled Soard. And I also have a website, lorisoard.com,
Mhm.
that they can visit and learn, a little bit more about the books and me
Wonderful.
and different things.
And I will link to those on the show note, my blog post page. So if readers don't want to Google it, they can just go to my website and I'll link straight to you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori. This has been such fun to talk about Meringue Melody, and I can't wait to read it.
Yay.
It'll be
Well, I'm
fun.
looking forward to your book too in this
Thank
series.
you. Thank you. I think we're tag teaming. I think I'm number 2.
Oh, are you?
So that'll be fun. Kicking off this series. Well, thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to A Spot of Story with Danielle Grandinetti. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Let us know by leaving a comment below, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Discover more information about today's book by visiting A Spot of Story online at daniellegrandinetti.com/podcast. Happy reading!